I'm Kevin Daisey. I guess I didn't introduce myself. Kevin Daisey, I'm the founder and CMO of Array Digital. And I've been in business for myself since I was 23. And I went...
For like 3 years? Huh?
Yeah, about 3 years. Yeah. It was more like 13 years. But had a small taste of the corporate world and then started my own business on a whim with no money, no nothing. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. And here we are now, growing our business. And marketing is something we live and breathe every day. And so we like to come out and hang out with marketers, share what we know, and then bring in other marketers, competitors, whoever, to share what they know so that we can learn as well. So that's why we do these events. They're free, they're not membership based, and they never will be. So we want to do these as often as we can and around the different areas that we open up offices in. So, which is why we have Orlando and so on. So today, I want to be talking about LinkedIn. Judy's going to be talking about LinkedIn, so you're going to get a lot of LinkedIn stuff today. But of course, any questions off the side of that, just feel free to talk, and I'll try to answer. So, LinkedIn. The first thing, obviously, before you do anything on LinkedIn, and I hope everyone kind of looks at this, is a lot of people I see on LinkedIn. A lot of people use it for a resume. They just have it because they feel like they have to have it there, but they're not very active on it. And they don't really think about it as a tool to get leads, to build their network. A lot of people have people that they're already friends with or they met who they've connected with. And they kind of close themselves down to just those people. And I would encourage that you open it up completely and say, I can meet people without even leaving my office. Of course, you want to make real relationships and go meet them, but you got to start somewhere, and LinkedIn can be really huge for that. And for me, a year ago, I had like 1,500 connections, and now I'm past 10,000 that follow or see my stuff. And I try to write to them and connect with them as much as I can, follow their content. That's how I met Judy over here. So it works, right? So first, look at your profile that you have. Right now, we're hiring for a social media specialist. And of course, when the resume comes in, we look them up on LinkedIn immediately. And if they don't have like a cover photo, or they don't have experience filled out, or if they just lack those basic things, it kind of, we're not even probably interested at that point. So this is a resume, for sure. But complete everything. Make sure that you've done your best. And I have this cool kind of cover photo, which Judy helped me a ton with. Gave me a lot of feedback and tips. And don't worry about, well, I don't want to say this or that. I don't want to look like I'm bragging or doing this or that. But you need validation when someone goes to your profile. So before you start with all this content and all this effort to try to build up connections and meet people, you got to make sure you took care of your profile first. And there's a lot more that you can do besides just a cover photo, but I won't get into that today. So the title of my talk is Infiltrate Your Market. So what that means is, for us, it's maybe that's locally, maybe it's Norfolk, maybe it's Newport News. What is your market? Is it local or is it somewhere else? And really what I say is that it doesn't matter, because I'm going to tell you examples of how we used it for other cities. And I have a huge network there, and I've met with people there, and when I go there, I literally have meetings scheduled out the whole day that I'm there. And I don't even know these people until I get there. So I'll give you examples of that in just a bit. But with LinkedIn, you can have a network anywhere. You just have to do put in the effort. So obviously, the best thing to do is define your ideal client, and that's the biggest problem with most people I talk to, entrepreneurs, salespeople. Who is your ideal customer? And really tighten it down. Don't feel like, well, I need to sell to everybody, so I don't want to discount them. But you really need to think about who is your ideal customer that you can actually help, that can afford your services or product, and only focus on them. Of course, you'll get others that come through, or leads that might come through that are not your ideal customer that you might say yes to, and you kind of have to do what you got to do sometimes, but you should be able to define your ideal customer. And with LinkedIn, even the free accounts, you can search for people by their title, company, industry, geographic area. And of course, if you get Sales Navigator, which I encourage you to do, then it opens up even more, and you can get, you get more aggressive with it. So, obviously,
what's Sales Navigator?
Sales Navigator is so LinkedIn has different paid versions of LinkedIn. So, I want to say there's one for if you're looking for a job. There's one for sales, and then there's one for recruiters that are trying to place people. So there's different ones. Obviously, if you're in sales, you're going to want to do the Sales Navigator. It's about $80 a month, 79 bucks a month. Well, let's just say that if you go back in your history, violin shop or whatever it might be, and say you look at the customers that you've sold to, who are they? Where do they work? What are their job titles? And then start to kind of define who this target is. And so in my case here, if it's HR directors, 90% of the time, then that's who you should be talking to. And then of course, by location, if you're very geographic driven, then you can also make sure you connect with people only in that area. Now you were saying that you're connecting people in like Europe and all over the place, which of course with online sales that might be fine, but unless you don't ship there, right? So you can definitely make sure that you hone in on the area that you're trying to focus on. So the biggest part here is, this is a little trick that we've been using, and we even have some automated systems that do this, but you can do it with just brute force if you like. But we connect with 100, if you have Sales Navigator, you can touch about 100 to 200 a day on LinkedIn without getting flagged. If you don't have Sales Navigator, you will get flagged and it won't work out well for you. So you don't want to mess around with that stuff. But say if you went and manually connected with 50 to 100 a day. It actually doesn't take that long. But you don't want to just connect with people. You also want to have a personalized message for every type of target. And it can't be, you cannot sell. So you don't want to sell to these people. You want to generally want to connect with them based on what they do and the interest of what you do. So for us, we like to connect with marketers. As we've grown as a company, marketers are more of our clientele than the owners. Because the companies are bigger, the owners are not necessarily involved. We're not going to talk to the CEO. They just say, hey, Director of Marketing, you handle this. So marketers are people that we need to know. We need to hang out with them. Not to mention we do marketing, so we want to learn. And I can have a cup of coffee with a marketer whether or not they hire us to do anything. So for us, marketers and marketing managers are our target client. So obviously a personalized message, hey, I'm a marketer, you're a marketer, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. And literally, that's going to be an expense to me, but I put that out there. Now, I might not want to meet with everyone that says, yeah, let's meet for coffee. But they usually respond, and almost 90% of them connect with me. So it's just a nice message, hey, I want to meet with you, and I want to know more about you. And I'll get to the examples in a minute on how, kind of with the whole messaging and how that's worked for me, at least, and some of our clients. But obviously, once you get these connections, and again, if you do 100 a day, I mean, you can get 50 a day that actually connect with you and really scale up your following. Now, of course, Judy over here might talk about other things like building it up organically and your content, and that's a whole other method of doing it, and that's a great way to do it. But I'm talking about if you were sitting here right now saying, I need more connections and I don't know where to find them, I'm telling you, you can find them on here and personally message every single one of them if you want to, and they're not going to be like, oh, who's this person? So obviously, once you have these connections, and say you have 1,000 followers or connections on LinkedIn, which is not a lot, but it's not a bad place to start. That's where you got to warm them up. Every day you need to be posting content that's relevant to them as your ideal customer. So you don't want to be posting about some random stuff or news or politics, something that's relevant to that person that you just connected with. Then they see that and they say, oh, this is helpful, or this person knows about this thing that I care about. So it's got to be quality content, and you got to get visibility. So that you got to post a lot. You have to have a schedule. You have to be consistent, and get the content out consistently, so that these people see it at the different times that LinkedIn's going to show it, right? I was talking to Judy. So a little bit of this has changed, but this has worked really well for us in the past. And now, since we've done it, we do have quite a database built up. But till recently, and you can still do it now, but you can export all your connections from LinkedIn. There's a couple step process. You got to go digging around for it. They don't really tell you too easily how to get there, but you can export all your connections. So for me, I have over 10,000, almost 11,000 connections. I can export those, and they're all, say, in Norfolk. So that's 11,000 people in Norfolk that I can, do something with. I can segment that list, see who they are, how many CEOs am I connected to, how many marketing managers I'm connected to. And recently, or till recently, you can get email addresses with that as well.
I was just going to ask you, they put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, they have done an automatic opt-out, which is what Judy was telling me. So I'm just going to take this from her. If it's wrong, it's her fault. So. So, but since we've done this, we have a good database, and now we have that. You can then take that email list, and you can dump it into a Facebook campaign. And then from that Facebook campaign, you can make a lookalike audience of those people. So now, what they do, what they think about, their interest, whatever it might be, now we can clone that list and now reach thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that may be, hopefully, your ideal target customer. So now we can do ad campaigns, and then you get into like creative and ads and stuff like that. And then with those, you can get very highly targeted to where we just recently did a 32-minute or a 32 video segmentation, 32 videos, and it was based on 8 cities and our four different services between 8. So it's me talking and saying, "Hey Terry, are you from Newport News and you're looking for digital marketing? We're like, perfect fit for you, and we're right in Chesapeake." And we did that 32 times, and so that you only see the location you're in and the service you just searched on Facebook or Google. So it's very highly relevant to you, and you're like, wow, how'd they know that I'm searching for digital marketing and I'm in Newport News? So you really got to, you can take it to the next level to where you're really being segmented with that message.
Can I ask you a quick question? I'm sorry.
Yes.
When you said you export the information onto Facebook, specifically in people's specific information, because I didn't know you could do that with Facebook.
So if you have an email address for somebody, you can put that into an ad campaign, and if that's the same email address that they use for their Facebook, then you can show them an ad.
You directly.
Absolutely.
Okay, not a general ad to hit certain demographics, but it's very specific.
Yeah, absolutely. If I had his email, he would see my ad when he went on Facebook. Pretty much, guaranteed, I would assume. You got to put some money behind it, of course, but and then it will only show up to this. So say if I got 300 new connections on LinkedIn, and I was able to do this, then I would show those 300 people that I just connected with, who know my name, somehow, at least they connect with me. They would show them an ad that's maybe relevant to, maybe it's a download, or it's a white paper, or something that's more value to them that's free, right? And that just helps my connection with them.
But as of a couple months ago, they took that away.
Yeah.
You cannot mass download everyone's emails anymore.
Jake, question?
So the only stipulation there is that the email address that you've exported from LinkedIn has to match the email address they use on Facebook.
Yeah.
And so then that allows you to identify
Yeah.
the user and be able to advertise to them.
And if it makes it easier for you, he's using a good example, but it's any emailing list like we use Constant Contact with our partner, whatever. So it's not just
Absolutely.
the emails you have.
Yep.
Like he said, it's not just to LinkedIn. It's
Absolutely.
just an email list, and that's one good thing you get Facebook.
So yeah, exactly. So for Terry over here, if you had every customer that's bought from you online, and you had an email address associated with the order, you can go on Facebook, make an audience, a lookalike audience, and then directly advertise to them as well to revisit and buy more products from you. Same with Thomas, with every house that's ever hired him to come to do a design or landscaping, and they haven't bought in a while, show them an ad on Facebook if they haven't bought in 90 days or 6 months. So there's a lot you can do with that.
So your stuff's not going in front of a stranger. It's kind of like you already have a warm relay. Like I met
Absolutely.
them today. I had their emails, and they kind of sort of already know me. So it's kind of like a warm lead, not just a cold stranger or whatever. It's a good point.
All right, so I'll give you quick examples and then I'll wrap it up. So with the LinkedIn, again, this is really the big message here is connecting with the right people at scale. And it's not just like click, accept, wait for people to come to you, but this is kind of connecting at scale. Completely different than what Judy's going to kind of get to, more the tips and things like that you can do. But we've done this. I've done this for myself. So I was going down to Orlando, we just opened an office there. Don't know anyone there, but we're going to open an office there. So what do? I'm going to fly down next week, and I say, all right, well, I'll get with my team and say, here's my message that I'm going to draft up. I need you to connect with 100 people in Orlando per day until I go. And this is the message to send to them. And it said, hey, my name's Kevin. I run a digital marketing agency in Virginia, and I'm opening an office in Orlando. You're a marketer. I would love to connect. I'm trying to get into the community, and I would love to buy you coffee. That's it. It's very honest. The backstory is in there, but it was pretty quick. And I had so many responses of people that said they wanted to get coffee that I was like, well, I'm only there for like a day. So,
Did you bought a coffee?
yeah. So what we did was we launched a meetup page 3 days before it. I was there. We invited all those people to a meetup where we bought beers for everybody. And then we did another one where we bought coffees for everybody because we figured this is the morning before we left. So we had like 20 people show up to our free beers. And we met every single one of those people. And now, when I go there, I meet with them again, or I've seen them at other events. And then the coffee meetup, we had people show up to that too. So we took this, well, I can only meet with one or two, to let me meet all 20 of these people in one shot. And that was just like, a quick little sample of what we can do with that. And other examples is if I'm going to Richmond for the day, when I met Judy, it's the same thing. I was like, well, I don't want to just drive to Richmond and back. Like, why not meet more people? And so you can do this manually and just reach out to a few people and say, hey, I'm in Richmond tomorrow, and just copy and paste that message to 30 people. And if you get one and they're the right person, you would see how much they open up and say, hey, well, I know this person, or, oh, yeah, this company might need some help, and it turns into business pretty much right away. So
Why are you heading to Orlando? Why'd you pick Orlando?
I was going to talk about that today, but that's a whole nother talk. I got tons of reasons. If you want to talk after this, I'll be happy to tell you.
I'll connect you with the Nanton Agency. They're good friends of mine, Greg Roulette and Nanton.
Excellent. Yeah. So
And they're big in digital, and so they kind of do what I do. But I'll introduce you. I don't want to take your time, but I'll.
no, I appreciate it. Yeah. So
An email introduction.
I got a whole talk on that, and we have reasons why we did it, and we're going to be one into other markets as well. And this right here is going to help us get there. So anyway, that's all I got to say about those tactics. If you need anything, got any questions, let me know. I'm going to turn it over to Judy Fox.